All right, good morning and welcome back. Today we are going to continue on with vectors. So if you haven't watched lesson 12.1, you're going to want to stop, go back, watch yesterday's lesson. Or else today there's going to be a few things that aren't going to quite make sense. So picking up where we left off yesterday, so we have component form of a vector. And if you think about it, this A basically represents what's the change in the x value. The B represents what's the change in the y value. Okay, and we're going to use TOA now to find the direction of the vector, find what angle is formed from that origin. Okay, so remember TOA stands for tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so if we think about it, if on here on our triangle, if we had a vector going out to the right, it's going to form a right angle here. This is our opposite, this is our adjacent. So that is our y divided by our x. Okay. Now, if you think about it, if we take the inverse tangent, we'll get what that angle is. Okay, right in here. And this starts at 0 degrees, so we are good. That's what we want. However, sometimes, instead of it being over here in quadrant 1, if it's in quadrant 2, we have this right angle formed. Same thing, it's going to tell us what this angle is, okay? And it's going to be a negative angle, okay, which hopefully makes sense because it's left and up, so negative. Positive divided by negative stays negative. Okay, so we have to subtract that or take that value and add it to 180. Or if you think about it, 180 minus whatever we get, but it's negative, so that will tell us some value between 90 and 180 that will be up here. Okay, same thing if it's down to the right. Now, if it's down to the right, both of them would be negative, so negative divided by negative, that will make it a positive value. So then when we add it to 180, it'll get bigger. Then the final area it could be over here in quadrant 4. That'd be positive and a negative, so it'll be a negative value again. If we add that to 360, remember one full rotation is 360, so that'll tell us how much below it goes. Oops, hit the wrong button. Okay, so depending, we have 360 and 0. Up here we have a 90, 180, and then 270. So hopefully that'll make a little more sense in just a second. But if we think on this first one, so 3, 7. So that's over here to the right and up, that's in quadrant 1. Whatever we get on the calculator, that's what we use. So it's going to be the inverse tangent of 7 divided by 3. And we're going to round to the nearest whole degree. I forgot to put that, but that's what we'll round to. So you can use this calculator. If you do this, you're going to have to change it into degree mode. So you can go over here, do that, then hit clear. You're in degree mode. You can go. Then just second tangent of 7 divided by, so second tangent 7 divided by 3. That works. 66.8, we'll round up to 67. However, I prefer, go to desmos.com/scientific. The reason I like this graph a little easier, or this calculator a little easier, it's already in degree mode. It's a little more user-friendly too. You can type really nicely on it. So for this one, you'd have to click functions, and it's inverse tan of 7 divided by 3. We hit enter. As you can see, same answer, 66.8. So we round up, that's 67 degrees. Now it's in quadrant 1, so that is our final answer. We are done right here. Now our next one, -3 and then 5, so left 3, up 5. That's going to be quadrant 2. So inverse tan, we start the exact same, y divided by x, so 5 divided by -3. And we'll find what that equals. Now, if we do this, so inverse tan of 5 divided by -3, hit enter. You can see I get -59. Okay. So my answer is -59, but that's not what I'm going to put as what direction it is. Because -59 is compared to this 180. So 180, if we add that on, it will leave us with 121 degrees. Okay, and that is actually our answer. Somewhere over here in quadrant 2. Okay, if it's a quadrant 2 section, you know it's between 90 and 180. Quadrant 3, you'll know it's between 180 and 270. Quadrant 4, between 270 and 360. Quadrant 1, you know, between 0 and 90. So that's a way you can double check yourself. So right from the start, 4, -2, it'd be over and down. That's going to be in quadrant 4. So once again, we do the inverse tan of y divided by x. So -2 divided by 4, what will this give us? So our inverse tan, -2 divided by 4, I hit enter, -26.5. If we round up, -27. Keep in mind, quadrant 4, that's not actually what it is. We got to add 360 to that. And our final answer then, let's see, what is that? Nope, not 233. It's going to be 333, isn't it? So 333 degrees. That will be our final answer. All right. Next one, left and down. So that's quadrant 3. And because it's -2 divided by -5, those negatives will cancel out. Will be a positive answer. So tangent, you can also raise it to the negative first. If you don't want to switch and click this button, just type it in that way. But let's see, it was -2 divided by -5. I hit enter, we get 21.8, so we round up, that's 22. Keep in mind that is not our answer. We're going to have to add that to 180. Okay, so 180 plus 22 gives us 202 degrees. All right, letter E, keep going. -2 up 5, so that's up in quadrant 2. So we know we'll get a negative answer here. And we're right, -68. And don't forget, you got to add that 180 onto it. And you'll get 112 degrees. Final one, 3, -5, that's down in quadrant 4. So inverse tangent, -5 divided by 3 is -59 degrees. Okay. Plus 360. That will give us 301 degrees as our answer. All right, so now let's take that and we'll apply it along with what we did yesterday on the graph. So it says here, plot the vector and analyze it by finding the vector in component form, finding the magnitude of the vector, and finding the direction of the vector. So let the vector v have an initial point at 7, -6, and a terminal point at 5, -1. So 7, -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is where it starts. Okay, it's also at 5, 1, -1. So right there. And we draw this in. Put our arrow on. Remember, it begins at initial, it ends at terminal. So first thing we want to do, let's figure out, you can either count it over 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can subtract whatever way you prefer, but we know it's -2 up 5. Okay, so now from there we can find our magnitude. Remember, it's the square root of a squared plus b squared, so -2 squared plus b squared. So that's going to give us the square root of 4 plus 25. So we get square root of 29. And that is our final answer. So it's vector v, so we can put it like this. That means the magnitude of vector v is 29, square root of 29. Now, what direction is that? If this was the origin up to the left, we know it's in quadrant 2, -2 up 5. Okay, so we do inverse tan of 5 divided by negative 2. We get negative 68.1, so we round negative 68. We actually had looked at this on the other side, but negative 68 degrees. Don't forget it's in quadrant 2, so we got to add 180 to it. And our final answer, 112 degrees. So the three answers we actually care about right here, right here, right here. So if I were you, take a minute, pause it, try the next one. I'm sure not all of you did, but I'm going to continue. So vector u, same situation except different points. So negative 2, negative 3 is where it begins. 7, negative 6 is where it ends. So negative 2, negative 3. Right here is where it will start. And right there is where it's ending. So we draw that in. Don't forget to put your arrow on. It goes down 1, 2, 3. And it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So if we write it in component form, it's going to be 9, and down 3 is negative 3. Once again, square both of those, so 9 squared, negative 3 squared. So if we square that, we get 81 plus 9, so square root of 90. Now here, you could put square root of 90, or we can reduce that. So that'd be 9 times 10, 3 times 3 times 5 times 2. Pair of 3's, so we're going to get 3 square root of 10. So I believe on Delta Math, it actually doesn't make you reduce it. So if you want, I'm not sure how that happened. Somehow I drag those down. Let's see. There we go. All right, so if we have u will equal square root of 90 or 3 square root of 10. Okay, then the final thing we got to do, we got to take the inverse tan. Now, you know this one is down and to the right, so that's going to be quadrant 4. Inverse tan, negative 3 divided by 9. Okay, so inverse tan of that will be negative 3 divided by 9. Oops. If we hit enter, we get negative 18.4. So we'll round that negative 18. And then don't forget, you got to add 360 onto that. So our final answer, we get 342 degrees. Okay. So that's all I have for you today. Hope you guys have a good day. Get the Delta Math done. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.